Attention passengers. This is your co-pilot speaking. Your pilot is black mind, so you are not going blind and there is no power failure. You are merely experiencing the immense blackness of his proximity, and when you hear his voice, you and the cabin will get even darker than you are currently. We will be cruising at the speed equal to light, because the one other thing that travels equally fast is darkness. Your loved ones awaiting your arrival may not recognize you at first sight. This is normal. Simply tell them about the pilot, and they will understand. We will taxi to the runway now, so please buckle up and prepare for a high-speed departure. Thank you for choosing Jet Black Airways, where the phrase jet black is also a verb. We hope you keep jetting black with us until the wings and the wheels fall off. Justice forever.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. Listen, gentlemen. When you look at the videos that a lot of these hyenas are recording in response to Passport Bros, which by extension also means in response to SYSBM, SYSMB, Passport Gang, Blue Book Gentlemen, IBMOR, and any other BMPT I might have forgotten, they are leaving something out. Now, I'm going to start by telling you what it is that they're including, and then you'll notice. They say, you're leaving us because you can't handle us, so you're going to run off and get you one of them dirty foot third world women that are poor and take advantage of them. Or they say, you're running off and get you one of them white women because you have self-hatred and you don't like black women. That's what they say. All right. You're probably guessing already what they leave out. Now, to help you guess, in case you still haven't, I also want to point out to you this. You are, gentlemen, generally speaking, attractive to other women. It's odd, but you are, considering that black women seem to think that we're the scum of the earth. And Edward Anderson did summarize it very well. He said they may hate you, but they still sexually want a black man. So even though they don't want every black man, meaning sisters, even though sisters don't want every black man sexually, every man they sexually want tends to be a black man. So they don't really lust after the Wyatts. So if they could, then ideally they would have pretty much the same thing that white women are telling white men that they're going to demand and insist upon. You're going to be here to take care of things and financially support me. You're going to bring in the white dollars, and I'm going to go off in the corner and do that black man, and you're going to watch. That's what they're saying. And sisters would like to be able to say the same thing to brothers. Actually, yeah, maybe even say the same thing to massa, but the point I'm getting is that you can get non-black women more easily than a sister can get a non-black man. Non-black men are not into sisters for the most part. They're those who are, but they have to hide it. Even semi-black men are not into sisters generally. So if they are, they've got to hide it. That's the thing I wanted to point out to you. You don't represent an even exchange when you run off for some of these other ladies. To them, that's not an even exchange because, well, you're getting a lady that's going to treat you well because she's interested, and they're getting guys that they know, even though they're going to try to front and act like they're being treated well, they're getting guys that they know are not going to treat them as well as they treat women of their own backgrounds because they're simply not that interested. And the other thing, too, is that sisters don't really respect men that prefer them. Sisters don't respect black men who prefer black women on some pro-black stuff. Hammer, that includes you, sir. Black women don't respect you as much as they respect the guy that will get with a non-black woman if she competes for him better than a sister. I'm not telling you that they're conscious of this, although a lot of them are, but I am telling you that that's how they are. So when a black man is like, I'm only into sisters, sisters don't appreciate that. They may be relieved, but they don't actually respect that guy. That's one thing that I want all of you all listening to understand. If you're one of those guys that's pro-black or pro-whack, even if you are genuinely only sexually attracted to black women, don't tell them that. If you're only genuinely attracted to black women below the belt physically, then what you should do is act like you're neutral, maybe. And let them know you're neutral, or let them think you're neutral, because then they'll compete. Don't do like I did, especially if you look like me, even though you haven't seen what I look like. If you've seen Vin Diesel with an average build, then you probably seen me. Don't sit up there and say, I'm only into looking like me, and you say I'm only into black women. They really ain't gonna respect you then. What you do is you say, well, I'm neutral. I'll let the women decide. I will spoil a woman that spoils me, but I let them decide by who's going to treat me the best, who's going to respect and follow my leadership the best, because I'm not going to mislead them. You say something like that, now that puts it in the sister's court. She wants to do exactly that. She wants to win a competition. That's more important to most Western women, period, winning a competition against other women, than any one of us is as men. Got it, gentlemen? Now that we got that out the way, when you do bounce with the passport, that's not an even trade as far as sisters are concerned, like I just stated. And that bothers them. They don't want the Filipino man, and the Filipino man don't want them. And as a matter of fact, they only want the Filipino man that don't want them. They only want the Dominican man that don't want them. They only want pretty much any man that don't want them. That's why even if they do go to Asia, they don't necessarily want the Southeast Asian men anyway. They want the Chinese and the Korean. Why? Because those are the men that want them the least. Got it? So keep that in mind. They're in a quandary, and there is no even exchange. They now realize that the only men that naturally preferred them in large numbers were black men. Now, Western black women have a double whammy because they're racially black and they're known to have bad attitudes. And they are the ones that are making these videos because they're now being forced to confront the fact that the only men that found them attractive are walking the fout, and they're losing that. Now let's look at what it is that they've been leaving out of these videos, gentlemen. They've been saying that you've been leaving for either dusty foot, third world women to take advantage of, or white women. Those two are not mutually exclusive in the eyes of the sister. Keep that in mind too. She wants to call the Filipina a white woman with an epicanthal fold over her eyelid. She wants to call the Latina, even the Afro-Latina, a white woman that speaks Spanish. That's why they call the East African woman a white woman dipped in chocolate. That's why they say that. They don't actually want to say out loud, because then they got to admit it to themselves that they are aware that you're actually not leaving them for Karen or Becky or Amber, because most of us don't trust her either. We know the deal. Karen, Becky, and Amber, we know, came to sisters, came to Boom Shika, Bonquisha, and Sapphire, and tried to tell them about feminism. And Bonquisha, Boom Shika, and Sapphire actually said back to Karen, Becky, and Amber, well, let me tell you what we already been doing to them. And they wound up comparing notes and learning from each other. Got it? We know that, and sisters are beginning to realize that we know that. They have to delude themselves, and they also want to try to make us forget where we actually wanted to go by saying, oh, the white woman. Because they think that if they say, you leaving us for the white woman, since we actually aren't really into Karen, Becky, and Amber that much, we might stop and say, no, not for her. You know what? I'm going to stay. We're going to work this out. That's what they're hoping works. They're hoping that we forget that we're actually going to go and holler at that lady from the Philippines or Indonesia or Cambodia or Thailand, or that black Brasilera or that black Colombiana. They hope that we would forget that. But no, we don't forget that. That's why we're leaving. As a matter of fact, that's not even why we're leaving. That's just who we look forward to meeting when we get there. You see? But if they said this out loud, or they said what was more racially and culturally, linguistically and ethnically accurate, they would not make it to the end of their videos without shedding tears. And they would not be able to press the stop or pause button fast enough. Don't believe me? Stop and think about this before I finish this up. How many times has Brittany Renner cried that we've seen and know about? Now, if she's done this while cameras are rolling, then how many mother cuss word times you think she done cried recording something that we haven't seen because she stopped and erased it, deleted it, and started over when she was done crying? What about that lady with her mammaries hanging out in that tight shirt, moving around, talking about, we fine with you, go, just stop making videos about it, just move. How come we don't never see no videos of you abroad somewhere? You know, Lion. More to Life covered her, the black Filipino. Well, here's the thing. How many times you think she recorded that and cried and had to stop it and delete it and start again? What about that lady with the braids in her hair talking about this is why we do not respect you, because we do not feel safe with you. When a real man walks in the room, we all feel safe. We know who he is. Just go ahead. You know, the really super unbothered, bothered bitch, that one. How many times you think she cried? What about the one that sat up in her, not in her car, she was sitting up with some cars behind her talking about, y'all can't go nowhere, no way, because y'all owe child support. How many times you think she sat up and cried? Maybe it was just once. Maybe it was 4 times. The point is, we wouldn't be able to tell. But if they were to say what it really is, you leaving us for these other non-white women that we would have gladly called black in order to get into the sisterhood if they had moved over here with you so that we could get them to leave you. You leaving us for them because they actually treat you better. Because we got stankified attitudes. See, if they start to say it, then they're going to have to finish the way that I just finished. They would have to actually, even if it's subconsciously, take accountability for driving us the F away. And that's one thing they can't do. We already know. We know they don't apologize. We know they don't say, I'm sorry because I was wrong. If they do, we know what it takes. They have to hit the wall, lose their looks, and lose options in men. And they've even said it. Daniel George said that, I believe, to BGS. Well, I mean, we don't need to change because y'all still here. That's when she learned about SYSBM and IBMOR and Passport Bros, because he broke it down to her. So pay attention to what they've been leaving out. If you want to respond to them, point that out to them. Always point that out to them, because that's going to be something that's going to fuck them the shuck up. When you point out to them, not in a live conversation, but when you say to them in a recording that they can't interrupt, and you say, no, we're not leaving you for Karen, Becky, and Amber. No, that's not for whom we leaving you. No, we're actually going over to other non-white women for the most part. And you get to finish the statement because it's recorded and they can't just interrupt. They only got 2 options. Stop or pause, or count that as one option. In other words, they quit listening. Or they have to keep listening and hear you out. And I'm reminding you, gentlemen, that one of the weapons, or one of the things that really hurts them the most, is when they can't interrupt you. They're just going to have to listen. And you'll notice that the ones who you know heard those messages are not going to be able to come back for that. I hope this helps. Thank you for listening. As always, black heart, black mind, blackout. Assalamu alaikum and black heterosexual, non-select male power just because they don't like it in black patriarchy until extinction or judgment day. Thank you again for choosing Jet Black Airways, where the phrase jet black is a verb. We hope you continue jetting black with us until the wings and the wheels fall off. Justice forever.